Hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here. First things first, let me know what you guys think of that new intro. But also, what we're doing today is another tier list. So, last time we did a tier list, we did it for Iron Man's MCU Armors for System Shock Radio, episode 75. And that one was a lot of fun. But, for those of you who know me, you know, once I start something, I want more. I need more. I crave more. And I'm sure you guys enjoyed it as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So we have got more. And this time we are going to be looking at one of the best superstars, wrestlers, what have you, out there today. Probably one of the absolute best. Just recently made his return, and a man with a lot of fun, cool attires, Mr. Johnny Gargano. So we got some attires here. We got quite a few, and for this tier list, we've got some rankings. The tier rankings are a little bit different this time as opposed to last time. So this time the S tier is Johnny's nickname, the nickname most synonymous with Johnny Gargano, and that is Johnny Wrestling. And then we have A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. I decided to omit F tier here this time around because last time we didn't really use it, so I figured D tier I'll leave at the bottom. But yeah, S tier is like the absolute top, the absolute best in terms of attires. A tier is maybe not S tier, but still a really good looking attire. B tier is B tier is like kind of the middle ground. C tier is like meh, and D tier is the bottom of the barrel. And only a select few will make it into S tier. And unlike with the Iron Man attires, these are just attires. These are just purely cosmetics. It's still the man, Johnny Gargano. Oh, and not even the match quality is going to influence the attire. We're purely going off of looks, so it won't have the crutch of that. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So this first attire we're going to start off with is DIY. That's the tag team that Johnny Gargano was in. This was probably the cleanest picture I could find when it comes to the DIY attire. It just happened to have Tommaso Ciampa, aka his tag team partner here. And it's actually kind of a shame that Johnny Gargano's been on Raw now for a few weeks, yet still no interaction with Tommaso Ciampa. Maybe Triple H is holding out. You know what, Triple H, I'm going to trust you on this one. But so here is Johnny Gargano's DIY attire. And I know it's off to the side, but what we have is like kind of the mix of like the two different logos. Gargano, he has like the let me show you the Johnny Gargano logo with like the half closed eye and everything, and I spelled Johnny Gargano wrong, but we got this here with like the half closed eye, half open eye, and then that baseline mouth down there. And then it's got the other skull to represent Tommaso Ciampa. Really good blend. There was one with a yellow one, but I think the red one is one that people know a bit more when it comes to DIY. But nevertheless, this is a really good looking attire, I think. It definitely is like a tag team attire, so Tommaso Ciampa kind of has like matching attires. But tag team attires aren't always a bad thing. And I think this one is really cool. I like a lot of the gears and stuff, and the red I think works really nice, which is why I picked this one, because it's really good. And I do like the sort of meshing of the two logos together. I think that's really nice. And yeah, but also unrelated but hard to believe, this team would spark one of the best feuds in NXT history. So for DIY, for the DIY attire, I am going to put it in B tier. I don't know if it's A tier. It's definitely not S tier, but it's a pretty good attire. So it is going in B tier down there. Next up, when Johnny Gargano got betrayed by Tommaso Ciampa and started going out on his own, we get attires like this at NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3. Again, another clean attire. Now, this is the attire that Johnny Gargano would end up wearing in pretty much all his video game appearances except for 2K22. They just reused this attire over and over again. But it's not a bad looking attire, but it's just the attire that they reuse. Now, because Johnny Gargano, and one of the reasons I love Johnny Gargano's attire is because I love superheroes, and so is Johnny Gargano because most, if not all, of his attires are based on a superhero of some sort. And so this one is supposed to be the Hulk, which I definitely did not pick up on, and it's from What Culture, so take it with a grain of salt. Maybe they're wrong on that, but it's supposed to be the Hulk, perhaps, which would explain the green, and I don't know if you can see the purple right there, but it's a good-looking attire, a little basic, I think, but it's serviceable. So, for that, I think I'll put it in, like, C tier, or I think this is our first C tier, or yeah, I don't know if it's good enough to be in B tier. It is a little basic, but it does the job. But now we get into the really cool attires, starting with Takeover Philadelphia. Now, both these matches were against Andrade, AC, and Almas, but this one was the better of the two. An absolute barn burner of a match. Now, like I said, the match quality isn't going to influence the attire rankings, but if you haven't already, this is a match you guys absolutely need to watch because this match was awesome. But this is higher, which is supposed to be based off Star-Lord apparently, and I can kind of see it with like the red or more like the maroon, and then the yellow and everything, like the gold. It's supposed to be like the Guardians of the Galaxy emblem, but still, it's a really good looking attire. I feel like the gold plays well with the maroon, and it's a really good looking attire. It's very pleasing to the eye. I feel like unlike the purple and the green here, or the red and the gold will stand out a little bit more, and yeah, it's just a really good looking attire to go along with a really good match. So I think I'll put this one in B tier as well. Oh, I don't know if it's A tier yet, but it is a really good looking attire, if I can spell Philadelphia, which I don't seem to be able to. But next up we have NXT Takeover New Orleans, and kicking off the Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa rivalry. Like I said, one of the best rivalries in NXT. Starting off with this attire, which is supposed to be based off Thor Ragnarok, and this is a really good looking one. I like the blue and the red. I wish it was a bit darker red because Thor kind of had the darker red, which I'll pull up for you guys. Is here, so you guys can see what the attire sort of looks like for Thor. Yeah, you see, it's kind of. Well, actually, yeah, this is more like an orange, honestly, but I wish it was a bit of a darker red to go along with it, but other than that, I think it's a really cool attire. I like the shoulder pad, which you can't really see, sadly, but this was like the cleanest image. With a lot of these, I tried to show the entrance jacket as well, because that also plays a big part in a lot of these, but unfortunately for a couple of these, I wasn't able to find them as I was looking for them, but still a really good attire. I like a lot of like the buckles and everything throughout, and yeah, so really good. And the red, the blue, I think works really well. And it definitely shows that Johnny Gargano's there for a fight. He's gonna dig within himself to take down Tommaso Ciampa, which I think he did end up losing the match, unfortunately. But I think I'll stick with B tier for this one as well. This was Takeover New Orleans, right? So, New Orleans, that means WrestleMania weekend. But yeah, so I gotta put this in B tier as well. Pretty good looking attire, but I don't know if it's A tier worthy. This one might be though. This is NXT Takeover Chicago 2, the street fight between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Another fantastic match. The thing about Johnny Gargano and why he's so beloved, if you're someone who's not really familiar with Johnny Gargano, is like, why is all these people talking about Johnny Gargano? Like, what's he all about and everything? And check out his matches because he puts on really fantastic matches, and I'm so excited to see him on Raw. In fact, at the time of recording, he was just on Raw in his Raw kind of debut. Ooh, he did have a match way back when both he and Ciampa were going to be called up in 2019, but Ciampa ended up being injured, so Gargano's stuck around NXT for a couple more years, but now he's on Raw full time. But this attire I think is really cool. It's obviously based on like Captain America, and I do like the patterns and everything. There's pants this time around, which I think between pants and trunks, I think I prefer Johnny Gargano with the trunks, but the pants still look really cool. And underneath is the Johnny Wrestling t-shirt, which is really cool, but it shows that Gargano is showing up ready to battle. So I think for that one, it gives it kind of bonus points. The meaning behind the attires may also give it some bonus points, but I think that one is going to be our first A tier. It's a really good looking attire, and I think that was Chicago 2. Ooh, yes, no, maybe so. Yep, Chicago 2. But yeah, so really solid attire, in my opinion at least. Now on to NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4. This attire is sick. I really like this one. The blues and the reds work really well. I like the Venom design on there. I think this is right after he turned heel, or as he was turning heel. So this was as he was turning heel. Aleister Black was taken out, and Johnny Gargano was revealed to be the mystery assailant. So he took on Ciampa one-on-one. But yeah, this attire is really good. But like I said, I like the reds and the blues and the Venom logo there. They're really good stuff right there. So, this is definitely gonna be. Is this our first S tier? Or do I want to put it as our first S tier? You know what? Yeah, I am going to. This is going to be our first S tier. It is a really solid attire. I really love this attire. Just something about it is really, really cool. Next up is War Games 2, and this is a Punisher attire, and this attire is really good as well. This is when he was full heel and he was taking on Aleister Black, but man, this attire is sick. I like how the Johnny Gargano logo is now in a skull, and I like the black and the white and the red. I like the blood down there. I think was really cool. Oh, and that vest is awesome. And I don't think I've seen this match, but just off the attire alone is really, really cool. So I think this one is also going to be S tier as well. Some really solid attires, which is one of the things you look forward to in any Johnny Gargano match is attires, because those are always so magnificent, as you've seen. Now we move on to NXT Takeover Phoenix. So rightfully, this is a Phoenix inspired attire, and for the most part, this one's okay. I do see where he's coming from with like the dark Phoenix and everything, which is why it's all red and everything. But I don't think I like it as much as the other ones. But it's still a really good looking attire. I still really like it. Fantastic match with Ricochet, but I don't know if I like it as much as the other S tiers that we put. But it's still a really good one, and I do really like it. I like the maroon and the red, although I wish he just stuck with the red to make it more of an homage to Dark Phoenix, which I'll pull up for you guys here, or so you can see. Not the movie Dark Phoenix, but the Dark Phoenix from the comic. So you can see the red and everything, and the yellow, which you see here. So I think this one might be. I don't know if I want to put an A tier either. So we're gonna put this one in B tier for now. My opinion might change, but for now, I think I'll put it in B tier. But next we move on to NXT Takeover New York, the Iron Man attire. Not even gonna lie, this is probably my absolute favorite Johnny Gargano attire. Just absolutely, this attire is sick. You talk about love at first sight. When I first saw this attire, I fell in love with this attire. Plus, the match also was really good. But like I said, it had no bearing on the attire. But this attire is sick. I love the red and the gold and everything, and the vest looking like Iron Man with like the blue and the glowy bits. Oh, I love it. I love this attire. If I can marry attire, if it was possible to marry clothing like attires and stuff, this one I would marry, with Johnny Gargano's blessing, of course. But this one I would definitely marry. But S tier for sure, or I should say Johnny Wrestling. I think I've been calling it S tier, but it is Johnny Wrestling, and it is Johnny Wrestling indeed. And of course, a fantastic match with Adam Cole and him winning the NXT title for the first time. Even though he didn't get to hold it for long, he only held it for 57 days before losing it to Adam Cole at TakeOver 25. But still a really solid attire. Speaking of TakeOver 25, though, here's the attire from TakeOver 25, the Captain Marvel inspired attire. This is a really cool one, and I like all the colors and everything, and how it definitely looks like Captain Marvel, but I don't know if I like it as much as the one from New York, but it's still really cool, and I like the blues and everything, and I like how the NXT logo, the X part, is like the Captain Marvel star on her chest. And so yeah, it's a really cool attire. So that I think I'm gonna put this in A tier. So NXT Takeover 25 is going to be in A tier. There is a really good looking attire. I really like it. NXT Takeover Toronto. Probably, if this is my favorite NXT attire, I gotta admit, this is like a close second. Probably because I love Wolverine, but also, just look at it. This attire is really solid. How it's got like the Wolverine vest, how it's got like the claw marks through the chest, and the chest is like open stuff, showing like the open chest and everything. The X logo there, and then on the knee pads, and how it's throughout the boots and everything, and the yellows and the blues and the reds. Oh, I love it so much. It is a really good looking attire, and I really do like it. It's probably my second favorite Johnny Gargano attire. So this one is also going to be S tier as well. And the fact that it was in NXT Takeover Toronto, Canada, where Wolverine is from. Although I don't think he's actually from Toronto, at least in Marvel canon. But next we move on to NXT Takeover Portland, which, fun fact, was the last NXT Takeover event to take place in front of a live crowd. And yeah, this was the last hurrah, really solid show from what I remember. But this was Johnny Gargano's attire going into it. Also, let me know in the comments below. And I posed this question on social media, which, if you haven't already, go follow the Nigelverse on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But I posed a question: do you think NXT takeovers will return? Me personally, I'd like to see them return, especially because like WWE's touring and everything, and NXT is starting to tour and everything, and going to different parts of the world and stuff like that. They went to a different part of Florida not too long ago, but I would like to see them do the whole takeovers and everything for the different cities once again, and hopefully the new monkeypox virus doesn't slow things down again and shut things down again, although I have a feeling it might. But nevertheless, Takeover Portland, the Carnage attire instead of the Venom attire, but this one I don't really like, unfortunately. I feel like it almost feels like a poor man's version of the Venom attire, so I'll take you back to the Venom attire here. Look how great this is. And then this one I don't think hits the mark, probably because it almost tries to reuse the idea of like the symbiote and everything. Carnage, of course, the second most favorite or second most famous symbiote behind Venom, but I don't think this one really works as well. Oh, it's not terrible, but I don't know if I really dig it that much. And the fact is, almost feels like a repeat. Didn't really sit well with me. So with that being said, this is going to be a C tier. Unfortunately, a great show, but the attire just wasn't really feeling it. Next up, Worlds Collide, which actually, now that I think about it, I think Worlds Collide took place before Portland, but a little bit out of order. But this is the DIY reunion attire, because Gargano and Ciampa teamed up against Mustache Mountain. I don't think I've seen that match, but from what I heard, it was a really good match. But this one is really, really cool. I like the light blue and everything. Kind of a foreshadowing of things to come for Johnny Gargano, as we'll see. But yeah, it's a really good looking attire, or especially like Ciampa's attire. But we're not here for Tommaso Ciampa. We're here for Johnny Gargano. Let me know if you guys want to see a tier list for Tommaso Ciampa's attires. But yeah. So I do like the flag and everything, and how it's got like the DIY logo right there, or Johnny Gargano's logo with like the heart and everything. Kind of combine the logos again with Johnny Gargano, like the symbol and everything, and then Tommaso Ciampa being the black heart and everything. And, really good looking attire. I think I'll put it in B tier. So Worlds Collide will be B tier. Although it's a shame that the reunion didn't last that long. I would like to see them continue, but of course Gargano turned heel and formed the Way. Hey, which, speaking of which, now we get into some of his attires while he was in the Way, starting with In Your House. Now, this is a community creations for how the attire looked in Your House, and I think this one got it pretty much for the most part. I, for the life of me, could not find an actual image of, like, the whole attire. I found, like, the jacket and then a little bit of attire. I wanted, like, the whole attire itself, but I couldn't really find it. So this was, like, sadly the best I could do. And one of the other ones for the for another attire later on. The rest of the images I saw were him in action with the attire, but I wanted like the jacket in it as well. But nevertheless, I think it's a really good looking attire for the most part. It's got like the red and the yellow, which I think is really cool, and the jacket, which apparently this was inspired by the Mandalorian, was really nice. I think the only difference between this one and the actual one is that there was a little like black cloak over the sleeve for this one, yeah, so really good stuff. And the kind of stripes on the boots do look a little bit weird, but I think for the most part the attire does work. So this will go in B tier, I think. So In Your House. We'll switch. Sadly, In Your House, well, at least the first one wasn't that great of a show, unfortunately. He and Johnny Gargano on this night took on Keith Lee. Should have been a much better match, but it kind of fell flat, which is so disappointing because I love both men. But now we get into NXT Takeover 30, and this attire is pretty cool for the most part. Like the blue and the purples and the pinks all melding together pretty well, and we got this jacket here, which looks pretty nice, and kind of looks how it did in real life. Again, couldn't really find an image of like the whole attire here, and I don't think on this one I could find a look of even just like the jacket, but yeah, but still a really good looking attire, I think. And it's definitely definitely flashy in terms of like its look and everything, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I do really like this one. I think I'll put it in A tier. I kind of like this one. The color is very colorful, I think, which is nice. But now we move on to Halloween Havoc. I kind of just gave up and just put like the attire, which is like the trunks and stuff. But I do really like how it looks kind of like the Beetlejuice type look, which It looks really cool, and it still has the purple and everything because, you know, Halloween, spooky, all that. But this is from when he took on Damian Priest and Takeover 30. I think he was in the ladder match for the North American title, but here he's actually holding the title. He won it from Damian Priest, but a really good attire. I really like this one. It's pretty cool, so I think I'll put this in. I think this will go in B tier as well. I think it's a pretty decent attire. Ooh. So put that down here. It's crazy to think we're almost in the month of October, or meaning Halloween's gonna be coming up soon, and the summer's almost wrapping up. It's been a hot one, but it's been kind of a fun one. Now we move on to NXT Takeover Vengeance Day, hey, and this attire is really, really cool. And peep Candice LeRae's arm right there, or hand, I should say, right there. That's either Candice LeRae or Indy Hartwell. I forget who, but and this is just how I found the image, and then the hand was just right there. But I do like this attire. The jacket looks pretty cool with like the Way logos with the yellows, and this one, and then we got the black trunks, and then the knee pads and the boots, kind of like a bumblebee type thing going on, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I would have preferred this attire for Johnny Gargano in 2K22, but we got the other one, which isn't bad, but I do really like this one, and I think it's a really cool looking attire for the most part, so I think I'll put it also in B tier. So Vengeance Day is going in B tier. Stand and Deliver. NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. Shout out to that awesome unsanctioned match between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. And but I couldn't also find one with the jacket and this. So this is what we're getting. Johnny Gargano right there on the shoulders of Austin Theory. And now, over a year later, now they're feuding on Raw. The places wrestling takes you. But Gargano's attire here, it does look pretty cool, like the grays and everything. A little bit basic for my taste, but still really cool. I like the grays and stuff, so I think this one I'll actually put in C. It's kind of meh, it's kind of basic, but it still does look pretty good for the most part. Nothing in the D tier yet, but now we move on to In Your House, and this attire is really cool. Well, I know it's a little bit blurry, but this looks like, of course, the old school Shawn Michaels attire from back in the day. I forget exactly which one, but like the red chainmail style jacket. Of course, Shawn Michaels, one of the biggest influences for Johnny Gargano. And you can see it a lot in his style and everything, and how there's the Shawn Michaelisms there, or some of that high flying and like the super kicks and stuff like that. But like the zebra stripe designs and the red and stuff looks really cool, and you even got the headband on, so really cool stuff for Gargano here. So I think this one is going to be A tier. I really like this one, and the fact that it's an homage is really cool. And finally, the last match for Johnny Gargano, at least in NXT, War Games 2021. Man, what an attire. Now, it looks kind of weird at first, but this is a lot, this really feels like Johnny Gargano's greatest hits in terms of attires. A lot of attires are just mashed up together to form like a super attire. And you can see a lot of like the glue marks and stuff of it. Well, it's part of the tire, obviously, but a lot of the glue marks and stuff holding the attire together, and it feels like a mashup of Johnny Gargano's best attires, and it was pretty cool. And the bonus that this was the first time he came back with Rebel Heart after having coming back for you, who for so long as part of the way. Now he went back to Rebel Heart, and just a really cool attire look here. So this one is, we are ending off with an S tier, because it's an homage to pretty much everything that made Johnny Gargano such a focal point of NXT in terms of attires and everything. And Johnny Wrestling was back. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it. So, to recap, we have in the Johnny Wrestling / S tier category, we have Brooklyn 4, War Games 2, New York, Toronto, and War Games 2021. In A tier, we have Chicago 2, 25, 30, and In Your House. In B tier, we have DIY, Philadelphia, New Orleans, Phoenix, Worlds Collide, In Your House, Halloween Havoc, and Vengeance Day. In C tier, we have Brooklyn 3, Portland, and Stand and Deliver. And this time, the D tier is empty. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with these, and what's your favorite Johnny Gargano takeover attire. And I will see you guys later. Peace.